Hello, thank you so much for joining me as I show you how I decorated this adorable girls camping decorated cookie set using royal icing. First up is a sleeping bag decorated cookie that I'm outlining and flooding in sections so that I create separation between each section. I'm now using a flood pink icing to create a wet on wet polka dot pattern. Going to set and let those dry while I work on this other section, which is the flap of the sleeping bag. I'm now using my scribe to scrape some straight lines on the underside of the sleeping bag to give it that kind of inside look. Next up, just filling in these last few sections with my flood icing, and then again using flood dots for the wet on wet effect. Lastly, I am applying some outline icing and dabbling it on with a sponge, and then a little pillow, and voila! The next cookie in the set is a cute toasted marshmallow cookie. I just painted on some outline royal icing for the background just to prevent too much icing being on the cookie, using a brown flood to fill in the stick, outlining and flooding the marshmallow with white icing, and using my scribe to pull that icing towards the edge. Next, I used a pink flood to fill in the cheeks and a thick green icing, having cut my bag in the shape of a V to create these leaves. Next up, I'm using black outline icing to create the eyes, and then some white flood for the eye highlights, using a food pen for eye details, and then dry dusted some brown to give it that toasted look. Next up is this tent cookie. Again, I used outline pink icing and scraped it on with a spatula for that under look, and just to prevent as much icing being applied to this cookie as I could. I used a wet on wet technique here with flood on flood for the outer side of the tent, and then used a thick icing in this lilac color for the outer tent details. Then again, just outlining and flooding for little pillow details to make this a glamping looking tent, and voila, it's super cute. For my campfire cookie, I actually used a plaque cookie so that I would have a nice cute pink background behind the fire shape, and I outlined and flooded with pink, and then used brown outline icing to create the wood look. Unfortunately, as I was making the fire part of this cookie, my phone ran out of memory and stopped recording, so I did not actually record the whole entire wet on wet process of this, but I outlined and then flooded with my lilac color, and then filled in the center with pink and white flood, and just kind of scraped that around to give that fiery look. Super cute. For this plaque cookie, I'm demonstrating how not to flood a large cookie. I was too lazy here to take my outline lilac color and turn it into flood. So I'm showing you it can be done with a thicker icing. However, it took me 4 minutes and 7 seconds to get this cookie smooth in order to use it later. So I'm using a stencil, scraping it on, did not like the colors, and so I just reapplied the stencil and added this lighter pink color on top, and I was really happy with the end result. Thank you guys for following along. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, and I hope you enjoyed the show.